Unpacking the Buddha's First Discourse. Episode 2. The Middle Way and the Practice of Vision. First, what do we even mean by unpacking? We can define unpacking as the intense scrutiny of traditional Buddhist and Zen texts. A scrutiny that often breaks down the text sentence by sentence, term by term, and occasionally word by word. And why even unpack at all? Why? Because not all of us have the opportunity to regularly engage with a living, breathing, enlightened teacher. Understanding that in the Zen tradition, it's this engagement that substitutes for the critical reading of the traditional texts. And so, for those who don't have the opportunity to regularly engage with a living teacher, there must be a return to the traditional texts as teacher. And with that return is the understanding that the texts are best approached as sequences of riddles, or perhaps as sequences of landmines. And these riddles must be reconciled, these landmines cleared, if we are to truly make progress. Let's continue. Consider the following text excerpted from the Sutta, setting in motion the wheel of the Dhamma. And what is that middle way of practice? It is simply this noble eightfold path. That is, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion. This is that middle way of practice, which gives vision and knowledge, and leads to stillness, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, and to unbinding. And in aiding in the unpacking of this brief excerpt, we might consider a handful of questions. First, the Buddha defines the middle way of practice as the Noble Eightfold Path. How does this redefinition challenge or deepen the earlier contrast between sensual indulgence and self-mortification? Next, the path is said to give vision and knowledge. What do these terms imply in the context of practice? And how might they represent two distinct but complementary aspects of insight? Consider the sequence: stillness, direct knowledge, self-awakening, and unbinding. How might these be understood as progressive thresholds or gates in the unfolding of liberation? Many of the 8 factors, such as right effort, right mindfulness, and right immersion, seem to cultivate an ongoing internal awareness. In what ways does the Noble Eightfold Path function as a training in sustained introspection? And finally, the prefix right appears before each element of the path. What does right mean in this context? And how might that differ from dogmatic or culturally relative notions of correctness? And so, we're now into the meat of Buddha's first discourse. More to come.